I have a question for Levi. You said that you have actually multiple rule sets in Canada. Could you expand on that more? Because in the sessions I've been in, I kind of confused. One session to talk about there's just a global rule set, which implies there's not multiple ones, and then there's others that you actually can have multiple ones. Can you give me some more details about what you mean by multiple rule sets?
Yeah, so when in the sessions everyone says global rule set, they always talk about SAP's pre-delivered rule set because it comes with the title, it says global rule set. So whenever you hear global rule set, it's more of the out-of-the-box SAP pre-delivered rule set. In our case, Asia Pacific was using 4.0, Compliance Calibrator 4.0, it was a Versa product, right? And so they had a separate rule set, they were maintaining it separately. In US, we implemented RAR 5.3. So we started with the latest global rule set or SAP pre-delivered rule set, customized it by talking to our internal auditors, external auditors, and made it very specific to our finance policies. So right now, they both rule set are different. They have different mitigating controls. And in 5.3, I'm sure you know that you can have only one default rule set. So when you're running risk analysis from CUP, you can only run it against that one rule set. Now in CUP, you can actually choose which rule set you want to use for this particular request. So that's what I mean by multiple rule set. And Banu, you would like to add something on it about it?
No, I think that's pretty much it. When SAP ships, we do ship a global rule set, but you are free to create different rule sets you want to.
So to answer your question?
I think so. I think we really need to see the product being used to make sure that what I'm thinking is
Got it. Had a question there? Yes.
Two questions. Actually, I wondered if you thought that maybe looking for a larger room for the next section. And secondly, I wondered maybe if the AC people could comment on something called BRF Plus. My impression of it was kind of like workflow and steroids maybe. And so, if you didn't use that, you might find yourself developing more ABAP programs reporting. Do you have a comment on the need to learn that?
So BRF Plus is a business rule framework. That's the new. Or it's an SAP standard or extension of business workflow, which is pretty easy to configure. I would prefer it to code using a web functional module. But again, it depends on the kind of workflow you have, depends on the complexity you have in the workflow, and you can choose between BRF Plus or web function module. But as of, again, it's a little, I'm sure it is not even little different, it's a big difference than earlier workflow, and there is always a learning curve involved. But once you realize the benefits or the potential of BRF Plus or the new workflow, you would be astonished. It's great.
And apparently we have seen that people who have experience with workflow in general, we have to have a code book that development has helped put together that we'll be releasing at GA, and people, once they spend a little bit of time with that, they're actually able to get productive with BRF Plus. So it's not like a whole net new training and all that stuff.
Okay.
For Levi, you mentioned that you're not currently using enterprise role management, but as a ramp-up customer for GRC 10, did you conduct any testing of ERM's ability to build roles and generate roles accurately?
No, we did not.
Is there any comment from SAP on whether any customers have experienced an improvement in the accuracy of role expert or ERM's ability to build and generate roles?
Yeah, we have already ramp-up customers who are working on implementing the ERM of the business role management, and so far we have not received any major concerns in terms of issues like issues with generation in the backend or editing the details of the role. We have not had any major issues on that.
And they're specifically testing large roles that potentially are hitting that perhaps the maximum of number of authorization objects?
Yeah. So we do that, and I think one of the big improvements is ABAP to ABAP communication, which helps us in transmitting this data from ABAP stack to ABAP stack, and ABAP to ABAP RFC is much more stable than compared to Java and ABAP RFC.
Thank you.
Next question? Yes, please.
Just back to the BRF Plus for a second. If we currently don't use SAP workflow in our environment at all, so would typically the person who's doing the workflow for AC, would they be the person that does it today, the security person? Or and do you recommend training on BRF Plus going forward?
It is different, definitely. There is a big difference between the workflow today you will see and the BRF Plus. So of course there will be some learning curve, but they do not have to learn the actual business workflow, which is a much bigger piece than BRF Plus. The good thing is SAP is pre-delivering lots of BRF Plus content for us. So most of the common workflow paths or stages are being pre-delivered, like manager, role owner, SOD team, security team, support, administrator, all those, if you remember, all those approval determinator, or those are being pre-delivered. All those conditions, whenever there is an SOD, there should be a detour. So no role owner condition, all those are being pre-delivered. Again, still there will be a little bit of learning curve, but you do not have to learn the actual business workflow. Yeah, yes, please.
Yes, please do.
You should.
So I think we have to separate two components. One is BRF Plus and the other is workflow. So the BRF Plus is evolved if you are used to, there is a tool called formula derivation tool in ERP. So in old days, where you can edit the expression. Let's say if you want to say if this is equal to this, or if you are doing a bonus calculation, if your salary is greater than this, then bonus is 25%. So that uses something called a FDT, formula derivation tool. So what we did is, what Netiver did is, took that and created a rule engine, business rule engine out of it, so which will help you defining rules. So whether it is related to workflow or any other rules, it is also used by a lot of other ERP core components, this rule framework. And so what we use, so to define a workflow, if you have to define initiators, so in 5.3, there is something called conditions, where you say if this request attribute is this or, and so instead of writing that conditions, which was not very flexible because you cannot put brackets and or and not, could be very confusing. So to replace that, we provided this BRF Plus interface where you can very easily define, you can pretty much write any expression you want. And we do, the BRF Plus also supports the decision tables. So what you can do is, you export the decision table to an Excel file, and in Excel you will see all the request attributes, and then you can pretty much define your initiator in Excel and upload back to the BRF Plus.